I'm Kate.
I'm Ebong.
And I'm Sonya.
And today we're dishing with you from the West End Bistro, located at 22nd and M. A lot of people go, where is that? It's located in the Ritz-Carlton, in the West End, in the Ritz-Carlton, but it's called West End Bistro. Food here is yummy, and we're going to learn a little bit more about it from Chef Joe.
Hello.
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 Chef Joe,
Yes.
I have a big question about TV chefs, and since now you are a TV chef, because you're on the dish, so you are a TV chef. How come people on shows are like, yes, chef? Like, what is the deal with that? Is that some sort of thing that we're all supposed to do when we meet chefs, that we're supposed to be like, chef?
And where is your tall hat?
I don't have to wear a tall hat. It's magnificent. No, the whole yes chef thing is because there's absolutely no dissent in the kitchen whatsoever, especially like Apple Bernadette, 3 Michelin star kitchen, like wherever the chef says yes chef. The answer is yes chef, even if you have not yet asked a question.
It's like a drill sergeant.
Exactly. The interesting thing when you get to sort of, you know, those more sort of outrageous culinary programs and everyone's just sort of walking around, it's like fantastic TV but really horrible cooking. We have this theory that like they don't really put accomplished chefs on there for the very simple reason it'd be very boring to watch. Like it'd just be a quiet kitchen, everyone would say yes chef over and over and over. So
and stuff would get done.
Exactly, things would get done. Service would progress.
So you're
a successful restaurant.
No interest on being on Top Chef, on True Chef Confessionals.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, Top Chef's a tremendously. It's one of those programs that actual chefs watch, and like we're thrilled that it's out there and it puts a, you know, I think a pretty legitimate look at the industry, and like it does a great job of showcasing talent, which is rare in that, very rare in the sort of reality TV biz. So Top Chef is an example of the genre done well.
Okay.
Would I?
Oh, well done.
Well done.
Sorry. Well done, exactly. So would I ever follow like my predecessor, Jen Carroll was on 2 years ago. She and I actually worked at La Bernadette together as sous chefs. To be honest, I know my fortes as a chef, and I know those areas that I'm not as adept at, especially like sort of quick fire challenges and those types of things. So I think for me personally, it wouldn't really be a format that I would enjoy.
Excel.
Yeah, it wouldn't. So at the same point, you're like, all right, we know where your strengths are, we know where your limitations are. Go accordingly.
Well, you talked about the quick challenges. I want to ask you, if you had to do one of those where they give you an ingredient and say make something with this, what ingredient would you just be thrilled to have, and what ingredient would you go, oh my gosh, I have no idea what to do with that?
Well, anything southern, I would think, because I went to school in the College of Charleston, and I did bistro food down south for like 4 years, which is very, very much a place where we draw the influence, the southern influence that you'll see on the menu here at West End Bistro. That's where that influence comes from. So if you give me anything like, hey, the ingredient is grits.
Good.
Control. Now, if they were to say something,
an entire menu of grits.
Exactly. Like we can do 300,000 things with grits. Now, if you give me some obscure Indian spice, I'm going to be.
I can help you out with that. I can totally help you out with that.
Dude, it could be like a tag team.
Yeah, totally. Phone an Indian. Use the cumin.
I'm confused. Please help me.
Yes.
So, you know, I mean, there's, and every chef has their sort of culinary touchstones that they're very comfortable with and working around. But if, to use the Top Chef analogy, if I was giving something, I'm like, oh, that's why I shouldn't have done this show. Yeah, because I could actually go Google it if I was in my restaurant and come up with something. But, you know.
Google it. Do chefs Google recipes? Do you use like epicurious.com?
No, not really. I mean, it's, no. I mean, there's still very much that collaborative spirit that's really prevalent among chefs. Like, we'll go out to restaurants and, you know, we'll talk to chefs, like if my chef is my friend is a chef there, or if not, you know, it's still very collaborative. Oh, this is a really great bacon. Where'd you get this bacon from? Or how'd you do this preparation? Or how'd this come about? Or where are you getting this fish? So, I mean, no one's really sort of holding close to those trade secrets. It's still a very open, very collaborative environment.
It should be like a social networking for chefs who share, you know, discuss.
Cookbook. You can call it cookbook, and all the chefs could have profile pictures. I'm just saying, giving it away.
You could need something to do. Well, I think one of the great things about this industry is it's really like sort of the last true meritocracy in America. Like, your food tastes good or not. You can't email your way out of it. You can't sort of try and scrape it off on somebody else. Like, did you make this? Yes. It doesn't taste good. Get out. And I think people respect that. You know, once you get to a certain level, it encourages that dialogue among chefs.
What really happens when someone sends the food back to the kitchen?
We happily prepare it in the manner that they wish.
I had to ask.
Oh, no way. Good shot.
Can I ask about what we have here?
Yes, please.
What are these little things?
This is what happens when we sort of try to take a traditional Southern bistro staple and, you know, very much Maryland-inspired staple of crab cakes. And every place has crab cakes on the menu, and I like them, I enjoy them, but at the same time, there's a certain play, like, let's make it interesting, let's bring a little something new to the conversation. So what we did was we made essentially an anglaise or a béarnaise, thickened egg mixture. Seasoned with a whole bunch of Old Bay and likewise spices, fresh tarragon.
What are the little lumpy things on the top?
Well, this is what we make that béarnaise, and then we set it with gelatin, put it in these little hemispherical molds, let it sit up overnight. So when it comes out of the fridge, it's nice and cold. So then we can bread it like we would bread anything else.
Okay.
Drop it in the fryer, and what happens is it essentially crisps up on the outside in exactly the time it takes to make the center mold. So essentially, you've got like a nice warm lump crab meat here, without all the binders and all the mustard stuff that you would normally find, which from our perspective is something we definitely drawn from Le Bernard, like the fish should be the star of the plate. So here we can just get really good crab meat and just really put crab meat in its purest form on the plate. You crack into this and it sort of sauces.
Oh.
But additionally, you also get sort of that crispy fried texture that you would from a normal crab cake, which is the stuff you like. So we really sort of took the individual components of it and just sort of reimagined.
What would you recommend as your favorite thing on the menu when people come to West End Bistro?
Right now, I'm massively stoked about the lamb.
Ooh, the lamb.
The lamb.
Stoked about the lamb.
I'm stoked about the lamb. We use lamb breast from a guy named Keith Marr. He runs Legion Fields out in Pennsylvania. Same guy that does the lamb for us, for Le Bernard and John George. The original thing about this is we use, there's a thing called lamb breast, which if you have the sort of nice giant rack of lamb, you have the bones that are coming out, right? Now, as a chef, you can sort of spec what I want a 3-inch bone, I want a 4-inch bone, whatever. These bones are naturally about 8 inches long, so the butcher ends up with all these sort of medium-sized scraps he can't do anything with. We buy them, we clean them up, we use meat glue, and that's just a tool.
Meat glue?
Meat glue. It's an enzyme that binds proteins.
Oh, okay.
So essentially, we clean
Sounds yummy.
We clean all the fat off of it. Cook it under pressure for 12 hours, so it's still nice and extremely moist. Then what we do is baste it with a mustard barbecue glaze, again very South Carolina oriented with the mustard cue as opposed to any of the other barbecues that are prevalent in America, and run it across the grill. So you caramelize up all that nice lamb fat, you caramelize up all the sugar and the molasses and the barbecue, and you end up with something that's essentially like braised beef brisket, only it's lamb and it tastes
southern.
It tastes a ton. It tastes more like lamb than rackham.
Well, we're going to have to end this interview because we have to get a menu and order some of this stuff right now. Chef Joe, it's been fantastic talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the District Dish, and thanks for sharing your dishes with us.
Thank you for coming.
As always, thank you for joining us on the District Dish too. Come back next time and see who we're dishing with.